highborn into the red zone.
And now, even if Troy triple blocks, Dave can just wipe his board by double go for the throw. But, you know, that would actually leave Dave behind on cards.
Does he even need to? Does he even need double go for the throat for that? I mean,
if it's triple block?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Troy chooses to take it, and it's a wise play. Dave's going to go ahead and go for the throat that Stone Forge, and then get another Colossal Highborn onto the table. Now, if Troy draws a land here, he can put Dave in a pretty awkward spot. Unless, of course, Dave has a lightning bolt in his hand. We don't know. Or dismember. Alright, so Troy has a Tectonic Edge, and that's going to prevent Dave's Lava Claw reaches from getting out of hand here. Troy may want to set up a turn later in the game where, you know, he's going to wipe the board or create a combat situation that ends the game, and he's going to need that Tech Edge to clean up the Lava Claw reaches.
And do we see a Mind Sculptor? We do.
We do see Mind Sculptor.
I see that boring to you. A Mind Sculptor.
Yawning.
Jason,
physically
so
yawning.
Boring.
Here we go.
So he scries his top card to the bottom and passes to Dave. Now, interesting that he left the Tectonic Edge, the lone Tectonic Edge untapped. Like, why not?
It doesn't really have a lot of value. I guess you can dismember.
Dismember works, so.
But
Yawn Blade.
Yawn Blade.
That from our director Jeremy.
I didn't even know I was gonna yawn. It was compulsive. It just like came out.
Are we gonna see a Mind Sculptor? Yawn the Mind Sculptor. Dismember for a hawk.
I'm surprised. That seems really bad. Why?
Does he want to clear the way that bad?
It doesn't even do anything. Literally does nothing.
I would love to hear the logic behind that. I mean, it just doesn't seem like you want to waste a Dismember on a Squadron Hawk when it doesn't gain you really any advantage. Is he just like, I need to hit Jace? You know, I need to kill Jace or something? So, okay, Squadron Hawk chump blocks the Lava Claw reaches. Jace goes down to 1 counter.
I don't get it.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, it's
Jace
just like
is still alive.
He's really worried about that Jace. Like, what did he? I don't know. What was he thinking? Like, he decides I want to kill Jason 2 turns. Because I mean, if he wants to kill Jace, he's got to attack it again, and probably, I mean, potentially, it looks like Troy brainstormed, but you know,
I'm surprised he didn't just use both removal spells, clear the way entirely, and then crack with land and guys to face for 7, and put his opponent at 5. And then with the Highborns, if your opponent's at 5, you're a bolt away from winning. Because at this point, that seems like your best way to win this game.
what's in Troy's hand. I mean, he's doing a little bit of brainstorming, so he may not know what's in his hand yet, but
he's got to put some cards back before he does anything.
exactly.
Looks like he has a Jace Bellerin on top of his library. No, I think that's actually going to his hand. So you guys think that's Squadron Hawk?
Grabs its buddy.
He has to shuffle his deck, yeah.
Batter Skull.
There we go. This game is getting very, very difficult to win.
Yeah, I feel like Dave had a window like last turn. I mean, if he was going to use a removal spell, he may as well have used both and just, like you said, cracked into the face. Or even if he was that worried about Jace, I mean, I guess just kill Jace. Trying to see one.
Yeah, use both.
Yeah.
Kill your opponent's Jace. Just leaving them with the Jace and not dealing them the damage seems to be the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, he's like a very middle ground. Viscera Seer.
Ah. And that's a dangerous Viscera Seer.
Yeah, that is actually
with double
pretty
Highborn
dangerous.
in play?
Right. Ooh, yeah. I didn't really think about that. That Highborn is deceptive. Very
Highborn is a
sneaky.
very good card.
Pulse Tracker. I mean, can he just outright kill him here? I mean, I don't even know if he needs to attack. Hold on. He needs.
He attacks with both. Attacking with both is definitely right. Like, face with both. Wow, imagine if his opponent was at 8.
Yeah. So you go for the throats one. Mana Leak.
So he's going to take 6. He's going to go 6. And Dave gains 4.
Troy playing sort of Feast and Famine. Equip it. Does Dave have anything in his hand? Just one go for the throat? I mean, I just don't see anything right now, but I thought he had double go for the throat.
He used both go for the throats.
Oh, okay,
now.
okay.
So
is that an into the royal?
it's into the royal.
Wait. That's an Into the Royal, right? Am I seeing that wrong? It's definitely Into the Royal.
What?
Yeah, why does he keep putting it in a graveyard?
He sacrificed it to the Viserys in response? But that's so much reach. His opponent's at 8.
Yeah, okay, so he just wanted to look at his top card. That's weird. The thing is, though, I mean, he was going to lose it to the Squadron Hawk anyway, I guess. You know what I mean? If it goes back, I think that's what Troy was doing. Like, put it in your hand and then I'm going to make you discard it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, but it was just weird that it seemed like he kept skipping a step. But yeah, I guess that's what he saw, is he figured he was going to lose it anyway. May as well look at the top card.
So
now Troy plays Gideon.
I didn't realize he had no
doesn't play
hand.
Gideon. No, yeah, I didn't realize either, so I wasn't sure. So now, a minute. Okay, that was odd. Troy tries to Fate Seal. Dave seemed to no-sir him for a second.
Yeah.
No, I'm good luck getting past my hand.
I already did this, man. You're not allowed to do this.
Yeah, once a turn, that's it. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's Batterskull. Batterskull's gonna make this quite a bit easier for Troy. Or quite a bit more difficult for Dave, I guess, depending on how you look at it. And what are you doing, Troy? It looks like he wanted to tech edge something. Like, why don't you wait until he sinks some mana into it?
So sneaky, these guys.
No, he wants to equip. He just wants to make that Batterskull. Like he says, I'm making sure that if you top deck
completely
removal,
reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. It does make sense, but it's kind of funny. For a second, it looked like I thought he was trying to use a tech edge. Yeah. And Dave can't fight through a Batterskull and a Jace. So he's taking it to game 2. So for those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with JVL in Baltimore for the StarCityGames.com Open Series. We're watching Troy Brestel on the left versus Dave Malafarina on the right. We're in round 9 of 10. Troy playing pretty classic blue-white Caw-Blade, the Gitaxian Probe version. I know Bing Luke seemed to be impressed with that. I think he made it to the finals of a PTQ in Providence, I think, with this list, or with a similar list using Gitaxian Probe. David, on the other hand, rocking the Vampires. Trying to make it 3 wins in a row for Vampires at the Standard Open Series. Now, this is the final weekend that Jace the Mind Sculptor and Stoneforge Mystic will be legal in Standard. So,
yeah, once these cards leave, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I can't imagine Valakut isn't huge.
Yeah.
Splinter Twin, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see whether or not it survives post-Chase.
Yep.
Its mana, it can struggle a bit. Also, people, like, hard counters will become better. We'll start seeing more Spreading Seas. Double red is pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also just, it's going to be difficult to beat decks that can, support a decent clock alongside counter magic.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the big problem for most of the decks in the format. A common thread between Valakut and Splinter Twin is that both of them only have so many cards that ultimately matter.
Yeah.
And because of that, you can attack that angle pretty hard. And it's not that difficult to beat those two decks if you want to. So it's not going to be a format where, you build this deck that's 100% dedicated to beat Caw-Blade and you've achieved a 55% win ratio against Caw-Blade. Because that's how it is now.
Yeah, again, I mean, I was talking about it earlier, but for people who may not have been watching earlier, like, playing Twin, like, Surgical Extraction on one piece of the combo, now it puts you in a situation where your backup is probably like an Inferno Titan and or Consecrated Sphinx. that was what my 2 backups were. And so it's like, now I need to draw into those.
Yeah.
And when I do, all you need to do is have 2 removal spells. So 2 removal spells and an extraction. Or even a discard spell, Despise.
And then your deck doesn't do anything anymore.
Right, and now I'm like, good. My win condition is possibly Augury Owl or Seagate Oracle now, or Jace Bellerin's Ultimate. That was the other thing. I was like, well, maybe I can deck him.
I've Bellerin to Ultimate people before.
Yeah, I have not done that, I don't think. Oh, wait.
I've done
Time
it,
Civ,
I've done it
right?
exclusively in limited though.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's a lot easier.
Yeah. I've done it a few times.
It's a lot easier. But yeah, it's Twin. It's very threat light. Like it's threats. If you see the Exarch Twin combo, that's game. That's enough. But if something like Surgical Extraction or even Memoricide, it's just like good luck if you lose half of that combo because you're stuck with just 1 power dudes and like maybe 2 6-drops, which all you need to do is answer those 2 6-drops and you're really in a good shape. So Valakut, in a similar way, really only has its namesake land and Primeval Titan as threats. So Surgical Extraction's pretty good against that too. I mean, people were Memoriciding Primeval Titans, back months ago when Scars was the most recent set.
I mean, that was a reasonable line of play. Primeval
Right.
Titan is, basically all that deck can really,
Right, it can't fight with really anything else.
like that's its main tool. And if you cut those Primeval Titans out, you hinder them very, very hard. So
Yeah, now we have something like Extraction, and Tech Edge was already good, at least a tool against Valakut. So Tech Edge your Valakut, Surgical Extraction. Now you're a red-green beatdown deck. And if
with crawworms, basically.
Right, yeah, exactly. So
not the most ideal of situations.
yeah, you're a red-green beatdown deck that can only beat down with 6/6 with the 4 copies of a 6/6 you have in there because you can't attack with Overgrown Battlements. Maybe Lotus Cobras in the deck if that's your.
You can activate your Raging Remains multiple times so they get real big.
Yeah, there you go. Oh wait, you're running Tech Edge. I forgot. That Tech Edge took out my Valakut. Now you've got 3 more. Spreading Siege or something. So anyway, into game 2 here in round 9. Dave leads off with a Black Cleave Cliffs, and Troy
Now we've
with.
seen 2 games in a row where Dave has missed that so important one-drop for the
yeah.
Vampires deck.
Also 2 games in a row that Troy has mulliganed. He mulled the 5 game 1 and won. And now he mulliganed again in this game. But
Well, I mean, if your opponent doesn't have a 1 or 2 drop, you can mulligan a 4 with Clawblade and you will probably beat them. Like you don't beat Clawblade because of how many cards each player has. You beat Clawblade because you out-tempo them with Vampires.
absolutely. Well, he just unmulliganed anyway.
Yeah. Card test
Squadron
that.
Hulk, the unmulligan.
It's always the worst. Your opponent mulligans to 5 and then just plays a Hawk.
Yeah. It's like mulligans so well just because of Squadron Hawk.
And Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge Mystic
you have a
definitely helps.
Stoneforge Mystic in a 5-card hand, that's like basically an 8-card hand.
Yeah. Dave plays a Dark Tutelage now. You were talking about that earlier for Pyromancer Ascension. Obviously,
I like this card a
really
lot.
good. Yeah, really good in Vampires. Gonna help Dave claw into this game. And Troy really doesn't have an answer for it besides Into the Royal, right? I mean, Celestial Purge, if he brought them in, which he probably would have.
There we go. So, Troy gets another Hawk, finds the last Hawk from his deck, and is he going to pass the turn back to Dave? Or is he going to play a 3rd land?
Play land. Pass back.
Dave reveals a Lobclaw Reaches, and then draws for his turn. And he plays a Gatekeeper of Malachar, which will
take care of one
force
of those
Troy
hawks,
to sacrifice one of these hawks. Now,
Dragon Skull Summon for Dave before passing the turn back to Troy. Untaps, looks like 4th land, and Troy in the tank here.
here's
Another hawk, maybe? Spellskite, okay.
Ooh.
Spellskite, very good against these kind of aggressive decks. There's the other hawk I was thinking was going to show up. And
Dave falls down to 17 there.
now he hopes Dave's top
So
card
he
is
reveals a swamp.
land. Yeah, that tutelage is certainly working really well for Dave.
I think he'd almost rather draw spells than take the damage.
Well, he's at least digging to spells. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's obviously
It's helping him.
incredible right now.
Dave has the dismember for 3 mana. The 3 mana
You don't see it
dismember.
very often.
Yeah, has that for the Spellskite, and then adds a Viscera Sea to his side of the board. Troy again in the tank. Celestial Colonnade. Are we going to see the Yawn Sculptor? Yes, there. Oh wait, did I say Yawn Sculptor?
Well, I'm gonna take a nap.
Jace the Nap Sculptor. In Yawn Blade.
Mr. Boringosaurus Rex over there. It's like, yeah, I've seen your blue stuff. I get it.
Brainstorms.
All right, so Troy's gonna draw 3 cards and put 2 of them back on the top of his library. I mean, Dave has Dark Tutelage in play. He's definitely fighting a card war reasonably.
Yeah. That is
But-
really, that's making a pretty big impact. You know, even though it's kind of subtle, or it seems subtle, but Dave's drawing 2 cards every turn.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. He's already drawn 2 cards up. It's already
Yeah.
more than like.
It's done
He's
its
already-
work. Yeah, it's done its job. And those 2 cards were lands too, which, you know, he didn't even have to pay the life. And he was able to,
I was about to get a 3rd one,
Yeah.
making it into a ridiculous draw spell. To draw 3 for 3. But unfortunately, he's facing off against Jace the Mind Sculptor, who is a significantly better engine.
he's better than all, at least some people say.
Probably the best forecasting cost blue spell ever printed.
And
That says a lot, considering where he's fighting with cards like Factor Fiction.
Yeah. Well, Dave decides to fight Jace with probably the best 1 casting cost red spell ever printed.
Lightning
What do you
Bolt.
think? Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt to Jace.
I
Lightning
think
Bolt to
Goblin
the
Guy
Jace.
might be better.
Could be better, yeah, but
Like Goblin Welder. But you're right, it's definitely
you
one
know,
of the
it's
best
up
one
there.
casting cost
It's up
spells
there.
of all
The
time.
classic quintessential red spell. And then he draws a Highborn off of that tutelage, adds it to the board, and follows up with a Bloodghast. Or
He's
wait
going
a
to
minute.
drain his opponent for 2 by sacrificing
wow,
that
yeah.
Bloodghast to Viscera Seer. He's going to scry, look at the top card of his library, decides to leave it there, and then I assume he's going to play a land, and he's going to return the Bloodghast back to play. He's going to bash for 2.
This is sick. Like that is pretty ridiculous. Vampires, you know.
Vampire starts doing this a lot of the time. It gets the Bloodghast Seer Highborn,
Right. It's
Interaction.
just like,
which is
yeah.
every black mana I have, basically.
Yeah, it's a shock, kind of, right?
You need a land
better-
each time also, but
Right.
it's, you're draining people for 2 every time. It's very strong, especially if you have multiple Bloodghasts. I think it's completely out of hand.
Sword of Feast and Famine will help Troy out a little bit. He equips it to a hawk, and a hawk comes across to peck at Dave's life total. Probably hit it with a sword.
Oh, Dave discards a lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, discards a lightning bolt, and Troy will put an end to that whole interaction with a Day of Judgment. And follows up with a Squadron Hawk. So Troy's set up next turn to equip that Hawk with the sword and continue with that kind of shenanigans if Dave can't deal with the Hawk. But it looks like he instead deals with the sword, probably better than dealing with the Hawk.
I'd say it's a little bit better.
So word on the street, or at least from the tournament table, is that Troy does not like the deck he is playing. He apparently picked it up saying, it's the last opportunity I have to play it. This is me guessing anyway, speculating. Decides he wants to play Callblade and picks it up, doesn't like it, I guess. I mean, it's classic Callblade. How do you not like it?
It's really fun to play with.
I think so, too. Look, you can do these ridiculous plays like...
Look at this.
Chump, yeah.
Get back Spellskite.
I'll chump
Now
block
you
your
keep
Lava
killing.
Claw reaches, play
Let's see if
Sun
we go for the
Titan,
throat
and,
first.
Yeah. Wow.
But go over the throat is just about the only thing that does it here.
Blood gas off the top for Dave. Was it off the top, or did he just play? Oh, he played it out of the graveyard. Sorry, he played a land. That's what it was. It was the original blood gas. There's a high one. See, that Dark Tutelage is drawing Dave right back into the game after that Day of Judgment.
Yeah.
He's got 2 cards in hand, 2 or 3 cards in hand, I think.
And this game is a true testament to what I was saying before about vampires can beat Callblade with tempo, not with cards.
Right.
Troy's Sun Titan Spellskite interaction here is way more powerful than Dave drawing a million cards a turn and doing all this other stuff. Like, Troy is going to attack with his Sun Titan. He's going to return a Sword of Feast and Famine to the battlefield, and he's going to have a massive, massive advantage.
It's a party on Troy's side of the board. Yep, look at that. You just predicted the future.
Now he can. I like equipping the Sun Titan in this spot. There's no reason to get
an
cute
additional
and
layer of protection, right?
Spellskite. If your opponent had something that could kill the Sun Titan, they would have used it.
Oops. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what he does.
And now even go for the throat's not good enough.
Yeah, basically Dave needs removal and Gatekeeper. You know, something for the Spellskite, something for the, and then a Gatekeeper to deal with the Sun Titan. But even that doesn't help. Now he needs double removal Gatekeeper. So he's got Dismember for the Spellskite. So top decks Viscera Seer off of that Dark Tutelage. Dave
Viscera
dropping
Seer is
a
a good
5
one.
life.
But
Yeah, he's getting that interaction back.
He really needs a Manic Mantle this turn.
No,
Nope.
he scoops him
Packs
up.
it in.
So Troy Brestel with the deck he hates, Callblade,
Probably in the top 8. now.
probably in the top 8, or at least in really good shape here going into round 10 to possibly draw in.
That's always the worst when you lose to somebody who's just complaining about how much they hate their own
Right,
deck.
I hate my deck. I win. Thanks. Yeah, that's.
I don't understand the point of playing if you don't enjoy your deck.
Yeah. Why don't you just scoop to me then? You want to concede? I don't know.
And
So-
we're back.
We're back. We're going to go to a break for just a minute, and we'll be back with round 10 pretty soon. So stay tuned.